Awesome. Okay. So, welcome, leaders. Welcome back. If you were just on the Reels workshop, I think everybody here was. Um, we as in Sarah, Lori, and myself, being the SEDs and above here in the Brave Tribe, we were able to take part in the leadership training portion of Summit last weekend in Clearwater, and the special extra training day we had on Monday. And so we wanted to take a lot of that content and aha moments that we soaked in and be able to squeeze our sponges back out into you guys being our leaders so that we can all rise up in leadership together. So we'll kind of like toss it back and forth as we talk through the day. I know Garrett opened it up, and Lori, is that the portion that you had Garrett notes on? Was the very beginning portion or later on?
I have from when he was actually speaking, not just
Okay, like his segment. Okay, that's what I thought.
segment.
Um, so Garrett opened up the session, and then I was backstage with Brittany Harper and Glenn Rollins because we did our portion on just team connectivity and I don't even know what the segment was called. But that's where I shared and I posted in one of the groups at least that I'm in, the pictures that Ashley had taken from all of our events. And it was kind of cool just to see our leaders on the slide deck and the big screen in front of these 100, 200 other SED leaders and above, to talk about the things that we do and to help other leaders, SED and above, be able to duplicate some of those things in their towns. Glenn talked about some different ideas he does as far as gifts and recognition. Brittany Harper did that as well. I mean, you guys, we all do the same thing as far as like club shout outs and stuff. Brittany just went on to say like she posts them everywhere. Like recognition is so like some people only do this business for recognition. So she makes sure to post it everywhere in their team chats, on their team page, in her stories, on the people's wall, like everywhere whenever she gets a chance to, and not just clubs either. But was there anything else from that segment that you guys that really stood out to you guys? And then after that was Aspen's art of getting stuck and or getting art of getting unstuck, right? Was that the next one or was Carly after? I might be thinking of Aspen's thing from the night before.
I think Carly was before
Okay.
Aspen.
Okay, Carly. So Lori, I know you had I've got good notes too, but I'll let you share your notes from Carly. And then if Sarah and I have anything to add, we'll jump in. But why don't you take it over?
Yeah, I want to start by saying my guess is last year it was ED and above, this year it was SED and above. And as our leadership population continues to grow, my guess is this was not said. This is simply just my speculation. Next year it's going to be VP and above. But do everything that you can to get there, because that's really where I found the value. The value before that was in the bonding and being with our people, but the value in development happened in that room on this day. And I was really touched by Carly's portion. So she talked about purpose and being focused on your higher calling of leadership rather than just focused on your rank or focused on the paycheck. Because when you're focused on the rank or the paycheck, you can get really derailed when something falls apart. But when you're focused on your purpose, it digs your roots a little bit deeper. So she said a couple of things that stood out. You become emotionally bulletproof by chasing purpose and calling versus the temporary high of ranks and wins and prestige. So emotionally bulletproof, that means when someone tells us no, we're not crushed because we know what our purpose is, and that's what we're going after. And we're not just going after the yeses. And then you identify your purpose by deciding how you want to impact the world around you, and then finding your purpose-driven community. So people that are running towards the same thing, or at least supporting you and cheering you on in your purpose. Focusing, another quote that I wrote down from her, focusing on your purpose makes you more confident in business. Your content isn't about impressing people. It's meant to call the called. And your calling is not your rank, it's the people. So focusing on your purpose makes you more confident your content isn't about impressing people. And I think a lot of times we get stuck in, I don't know what to post today because I got to get a lot of likes. We got to worry about the algorithm. And I think truly when you share your heart, you're going to connect with more people than just trying to be impressive or try to be flashy. And so that really stood out to me. And then she said, being purpose driven attracts the right people into your business. Not just the masses, but the people that connect to the purpose that you're portraying out into the world. And then she shared the Bible verse, Jeremiah 17:7-8. And so again, if you're taking notes, Jeremiah 17:7-8. But blessed are those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord their hope and confidence. They are like trees planted along a riverbank with roots that reach deep into the water. Such trees are not bothered by the heat or worried by long months of drought. Their leaves stay green and they never stop producing fruit. And so that just tied really nicely into basically the deeper your roots, the deeper your purpose, the stronger you're going to stand. So did you guys have any notes that I didn't cover for that?
No, but I just love that because there are seasons of drought, but a tree whose roots are planted deep aren't bothered. So when your roots are deep, be unbothered. Yeah.
You know, that was good, Lori. Thank you. After Carly, Ashley and Misty Lee did a Canva 101 training. So if you guys haven't seen yet, Misty Lee made like a Canva workbook and it's in Bravely Nation. So if you've got some time and you want to get better at Canva, it's fabulous. She does everything from her phone, which makes it easy because we all have phones. So no excuses. I do a lot on my computer. I like it, but it's also very possible to do everything from your phone. So like I said, if you want to get more into Canva, Misty was very gracious to work a lot on that workbook. Basically, people would be selling them in an MMR course or whatever it's called for $7,000 probably. And she popped it in the Bravely Nation page for free. So, then Aspen talked about leading beyond comfort zones. And my quote that I took from that is your business is not a buffet. You can't just like pick and choose the good parts that you want to do and leave behind like the veggies, right? You have to do it all if you want a successful business. Sarah or Lori, I'll let you guys. I've got a couple more notes, but I don't want to take them all.
I had two for here. One, repel toxicity. Be the person that people know when they call you to vent, you turn the conversation to vision. It protects your space and theirs. And then the second one that stood out to me was seek accountability. Ask the people around you about your blind spots.
Okay.
Yep. The other thing I put for Aspen, there was like 5 or 6 things. Be a true vision caster. Being able to cast vision for people is very important. Like if you are telling your story and what Bravely is doing for you, it's not about you. Hate to break it to you, it's not about us. It's about casting the vision for that person on the other side of the screen at the in-person event, whatever. Lori said repel toxicity, switch those conversations around. Ashley tells us all the time, she gives everyone the BMW moment. And then she's like, your time is up. It's over. We're moving past this. And you guys, people look up to you. They do what you do, right? If you're going to be complaining and griping, and they're going to be doing the same. Set personal goals. As I talked about that, like if you don't have a goal and you don't know where you're going, it's hard to lead a team to where they want to go. If you're like, okay, I know I want to leave my job, but like, I don't have a clear vision really. I just know that I don't like my job. Like that's not enough. They need to see you moving towards that and shaking towards that. And being brave to share those goals. And sometimes as leaders, it's really hard because we get in our heads and we're like, oh, we feel selfish. Our teams don't want to care what our goal is. They care. No, they do. And they want to know that you're willing to be brave and share their goal because that gives them the confidence and the bravery to go and share their goal with their team. Everybody should know by now, it's not a single person's effort. Unless you are someone that is, a customer gatherer and you are not a part of like a team environment, which is totally fine too. We all know that people can be successful just gathering customers, but if you're here, you're building a business, we all know that it's a team for a reason. And I remember, I don't know, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, Aspen really talked about like flipping that verbiage of like, we're creating a community. People don't want to build a business just to build a business. Like they want to, go down that path of earning extra income, but like what's more appealing to people now is like they want to be a part of something. They want to help create a community and make money doing it. Aspen also talked about demonstrating unconditional belief. So being unmessable, being unshakable, like be so believing in what you are doing and what you have your hands on that like people have to see it because you know you are just like tried and true, like this is working for me. And like Kim, I think of you with some of your, you know, pain stuff, not to be a walking medical claim, but you know what I'm saying? Like you are so unshakable in what products work for you that you talk about them. Tammy, I know you have a weight loss story. Like you know what I mean? Be so strong in that belief for what these products have done for you and the income it's provided for your family that people can't, you know, stop but thinking about it. Somebody mentioned this, and I don't know if Lori or Mickey, you remember this, but it was like when you are showing up and you're in your top 5 on social media, when people think of you, we don't want them to think of Bravenly. We don't want to go, oh, Lori, oh, that's that Bravenly girl. But when they think of Bravenly, you want them to think of you. So it's finding that balance of you're sharing enough and being open and confident and have that unmessable belief, unshakable belief in what you're doing and what you have your hands on and how it can help other people, but not to a point where they're like, oh, here comes Lori, that girl with that rush. Like, no. But when they think of, I have unbalanced hormones, my skin is out of whack, I don't feel good, I'm puffy, I'm inflamed, my gut's messed up. You know what? Lori, that's what you're looking for. That's the kind of influence and that's the kind of help and, you know, impact that you want to make. The last thing, Lori talked about, the seek accountability, finding someone that you trust that can show you your blind spots. And a true friend outside of business should be able to share your blind spots with you if they truly care about you and love you and want to see you succeed in life, not just in business, but in everything you do as a parent, as a spouse, as a, you know, whatever. They'll share your blind spots with you. Whether or not you receive them is up to you, but being open and willing to have that feedback, because nobody here is wanting to share something that's going to hurt someone else. But also sometimes we need to hear things that help us grow that aren't pleasant. I've been the recipient. I've also been the person that's sharing feedback. It's uncomfortable both ways, but again, we grow. So.
Good. Okay, then it was Garrett on what leaders do. And my biggest takeaway from this was actually an activity we did yesterday at my house, and it was writing up your stuck story. So write down, if you guys weren't here yesterday, you want to do it again, take a piece of paper and pen and write down your stuck story. Why are you stuck? What fears do you have? What limiting beliefs do you still have? If you've been here since the beginning, or you just feel like you've been stuck at a rank for way longer than you thought, whatever it was, write down your stuck story. And then yesterday we ripped it up. You could burn it, you could do whatever, but you need to destroy it and then get a new fresh piece of paper and write your new story and start walking in faith of where your new story is leading you. Next. Anybody else?
I have a bunch of one-liners from Garrett, guys, so get ready. One of the things that I circled and highlighted was we need the people around us that tell us we have more inside of us. So we're all going to have those stay stuck moments, whether we're stuck in the story or not, but we're going to have those moments of doubt. So finding the people. So I just invite you guys to be that person for each other, for me, for Sarah, for Mickey, for your teams, and allow us to do the same for you, because we're all going to have days where we need that. And then up to Sarah's point, he said, it's a rare person that wants to hear what he or she doesn't want to hear about themselves. It's rare. So, it's hard, it's not easy, and we understand that, but it is a pathway to growth. There's more inside of all of us than what we're currently giving. And it's a mistake to think that more is going to come easy. It's going to cost you, to grow, but it's worth it. If you want leadership money, you have to learn how to lead. You don't get one without the other. That was just a nice one-liner. He's got all the best. Back to the stay stuck story. You can tell your stay stuck story so well that you find yourself on such high moral ground that no one can coach you out of it. You can tell that story so well that you find yourself on such high moral ground that no one can coach you out of it. Negative thinking is weaponizing you against you. I'm skipping over some of them. And then accountability is closing the gap between what you intended to do and what you actually do. So accountability, closing the gap between what you intended to do and what you actually do. He had a lot of good ones. I have more written down, but those were the highlights.
Lori, can you say the first one that you said again?
We need the people around us that tell us we have more inside us.
Sarah, do you have anything else from the Garrett session?
So I don't know, because I don't know where Garrett melded into Todd Smith, but you're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. And really my highlight or my, like, you can tell your stay stuck story so well that no one can coach you out of it. And like, if you find yourself, I'll raise my hand to that because I've been that, and I can, it's been a blind spot, but it's been brought to the forefront for me. You can stay in that stay stuck story because you maybe haven't moved past it or haven't seen the next rank or the next success or the next red marble, which we'll get into that in a second. But it's hard because you're like, okay, well, I'm not maybe moving past it, but like I can still hold on to that because like it was special for a moment in time, or I haven't figured out how to move past it or whatever. But you guys, like, it's the story you're telling yourself. If you're telling yourself that you're a founding brand partner and you did the thing to get founding brand partner, but you haven't moved past it, like, girlfriend, we got a new story, right? You have done this and this, and then since then, like, talk about what you've done since then and what this company has done for you and what you've been able to provide for your family and how you've been able to help and bless other people. Like, we got to tell a new story. And Garrett, I remember like sitting with him in Jamaica and he was like, time for a new story, Sarah. And that's when he brought that to my attention and like, new story. Like, yep, your story's good, real good. Let's move past it. Like, you need to write a new story, pick up the damn pen. So, and that goes for all of us, like whatever story you're telling yourself in your marriage, in your job, in your, you know, the role you're playing in your children's lives or your niece's lives or whatever it may be, you guys, new story, new story.
If you guys have been around for as long as Sarah and I and Lori and most of you have, you know, like for so long, my story was always, well, my leader just up and left. Like, I don't have a leader. I don't know what I'm doing. And it took a very long time of telling that story until recently. You all were here for going SVP. It took me like saying, I'm done telling that story. I don't need a leader. We can figure this out. And that's where it pushed to that next level. And so you guys can, that's the same thing. Take your stuck story, rip it up, and write a new story because it's all in your hands. Like, you literally have the pen or pencil to rewrite a new story. And my husband's okay. After that, Allie did her quick reels challenge, which is what Sarah and Jen just duplicated. So I think we can probably skip over that. It was kind of fun. Everyone was in the room taking the 5 to 7 second videos, like Sarah said, holding on to our phone cases, searched a Pinterest quote and put it on with music, off it went. It can be super easy. Don't overthink your reels. And then Tara Castaneda got up after the lunch break and talked about cultivating a powerful presence to lead effectively. And this was one that I took a lot of notes on too, but essentially it's posturing yourself as a leader and how you talk and present. And it was kind of, I felt like a mouse hiding in the back of the room because I was on stage earlier and then she had all these great presentation like skills. And I'm like, oh, I feel like she's calling me out because I was up there like, this is Nikki, I'm sharing my story. And she's like, my name's Tara and this is how we do things. And so I really think, and she made a point, like when we're talking to people, we have to be more like excited and more vocal and stand in our power and our power pose. And Lori has other great ideas on how you can get that confidence up before you go speak, whether it's in front of a crowd, whether it's on a Zoom like this, whether it's with a potential. There's just an importance behind how you present yourself. And Lori is an expert on that, obviously, because that's her day job. Lori, do you want to add anything?
The
It's
only
like
thing
we're
I'll
doing
add
this
that she mentioned, because I really liked it, is you don't always have to be polished because polish isn't always relatable.
Mhm.
Right.
So don't try to strive for perfection, just strive for authenticity.
Sarah, do you have anything else?
No, and I don't know if it was because after lunch or whatever, but I did not take notes on Terracasnia, so I'm glad
Okay.
to hear that.
Okay, you're good. Okay. And then we went to Todd Smith, which was the marble thing. Pretty much talked through the training today for Mentorship Monday, which was incredible. We talked about it at my house last night too. But the other thing that he didn't share, because it was more of a leadership conversation, was the 4 types of people. Sarah, I knew you had mentioned that earlier. Do you want to go through those 4 types of people?
I'm happy to, or you can, it doesn't matter.
Take the floor, sister.
He talked about there being 4 types of people. The first one is, and Lori or Mickey, you can interject as well if I leave anything out, because I just wrote the kinds. I didn't put like anything
The
else.
descriptions,
So,
yes.
yeah, first were the dropouts, people that sign up and do nothing. They sign up and you never hear from them again. They ghost you. You're like jumping in their inbox. They might order something 3 months from now, but like you cannot get them on a Zoom to save your soul, and they just fall off the face. Anyone had a dropout? Second were the cop outs. Those are people that are the as soon as people. We would like to call them the as soon as my child starts kindergarten, as soon as I make $10,000, as soon as I divorce my husband and pay off my credit card, as soon as I get a different job, as soon as winter, as soon as summer, as soon as boating season's done, as soon as boating season starts. Like it's those people that find excuses out of excuses. Who they had a why at one point, but it slowly slipped away when other things take precedence and priority in their life. Has anybody ever had a cop out on their team? Has anybody ever been a cop out? I have. I've made excuses, and yeah. So, the third is the holdouts. I think maybe I did those backwards. Are the holdouts okay? Erase everything you just heard. The cop out is the excuse maker. Can't do it. Not enough time. Too tired, it's too late, I'm too rich, I'm too poor. Those are the cop outs.
Present enough to know that you're there for them, but they've
Yes.
got the excuses. They're just not working.
I
Yeah.
melded them into one.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
now
good.
that we erased
They're
your mind.
similar.
Yeah. The holdout is the as soon as person. The as soon as it becomes summer, as soon as it's winter, as soon as Christmas done, as soon as Jan 1, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, as soon as this, my New Year's resolution, blah, blah, blah. And it never becomes that. As soon as it's Monday, as soon as it's next Tuesday, and then it never happens because they're just holding out forever. However, I have found that you can be a holdout. You can say as soon as this happens and then actually follow through on it. So I want to put this in here. You can be one of these 4 and move to another person. So if you're someone that was a dropout, a cop out, a holdout, whatever, you can always move to a different one. Hopefully we're all moving towards number 4 if you're not already there, and that's the all out. That's someone that came to play. They're playing full out. They realize that life is not stopping for anybody. And they are here to play full out and, do full force and make an impact and not stopping for anything. No excuses. We also know, like Todd Smith did talk on this, and he was like, okay, everyone says life is about balance and you want to have balance in this and balance in that. When you are on a 90-day run, there's no balance. Things are not going to be balanced. You're not going to get enough sleep. You're not going to, eat the best. You might swing through and get your kids McDonald's because you have to get home and do a Zoom, whatever it may be. It's 90 days. You can do anything for 90 days. And you talked about working your business in 90-day increments, 90-day runs. And Aspen had mentioned that to Lori and I before too, about like, you're a couple 90-day runs from a completely different life. Like, can you do it? Yeah, can. If you break it down into those small 90-day runs, you guys, it's more doable. If you're like, oh, I need to go EVP and it's going to take me 12 months, don't look at it that way. Look at it in 90 days. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to help my team get to. 90-day runs. Put your chips in.
We just saw that on that same page. All chips in. Stop making excuses. Stop putting like a little bit in at a time. Like when you put all your chips in and you're going all in for Bravenly is when you will move the mark on your business.
The last thing I put was, it is impossible to beat a person who won't give up. You don't lose if you don't quit. And belief has a sound.
Lori, do you have anything else for Todd? Okay. And then Adrian Watley closed us out with some incredible just excitement and vision. Of course, she's part of the sisters. They're the newest ones here. And she just says, we've got a brand to build. Like she was super, I mean, her voice was basically gone because she had been talking so much and excited all weekend. But one thing that, I mean, a couple things she said was start recruiting now as we prep for the holiday and New Year's goals. And something that I'll call myself out on, I've been saying to a couple people in one-on-one conversations, but I haven't like made a post or gotten loud about it yet. But like now is the time to start talking to people about that holiday money. So like I've told a couple people, my personal goal would be to help 5 people make $500 before Christmas. But if they don't start now, that's not going to be super likely by the time that December 15th paycheck hits. So we've got to start talking to people now about those goals they maybe have for Christmas or New Year's health goals, whatever it is. Get them started on supplements and the products now for their New Year's goals. And then similarly to what Lori said, Carly had mentioned earlier, was that we're looking for the people that are looking for us. I have a couple more things too, but I'll wait and see if Lori or Sarah don't cover them. Okay. I'm finding Lori's a really good note taker, so I'm betting she has some more stuff.
I
The
think
one,
just
the one that I liked from her says the will surpasses the skill. So the person that is determined is going to go farther than the person that knows how to do it, but they're kind of wishy-washy in their decision to get it done.
Put that one there because I missed it and I don't get a lot. She talked a lot about the map too and how many numbers are in each state. So I would encourage you guys to look at it and see and think, who do I know in this state or that state, and reach out to that person specifically and say, I'm looking to grow my network in your, or launch this business, whatever you want to say, in your state. I've got a message for his cousins in Missouri after this actually, but there's only 320 people in your state and I'm looking to expand that. This is, whatever that conversation looks like get bold, because these numbers really are pretty low. And when you look at, even the sisters are in Mississippi, right? And so the number from the map last year versus now is insane because they are building belly to belly in their state, and it's evident. So, Sarah, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just, Tara Castanet's post in Bravely Nation about the ABCs, always be chatting, always be closing. If you do nothing else for your business in a day, that, and if you're not going to recruit because you aren't, and you don't have people in the funnel or in the pipeline, Todd and Robin in their previous business built an organization of 20,000 people and they only personally enrolled 50. That's it. Because they were sponsored through their people's people.
I don't remember what part of the training it was in. It might have been the bigger piece of it, but I know they were talking about doing all these events, but also like recruiting through, like Sarah just said, people's people, but consider your customers too. Ask your customers to host a post or to host a sip and sample for you. Ask friends. I just asked one of my former cheerleaders today who owns an all-star gym in Grand Rapids, could I bring my products to one of your practices for the parents to try? Like, just get in front of people. All right, Lori, is there anything else before we wrap this up? Perfect. All right, any questions from any of you ladies? Okay. Perfect. I don't see the buttons unmuting. You're so welcome. How about we all make a pact that next year we're all going to the leadership portion of it, whether it's ED, SED, VP, whatever it is, we've got a year to get to that level so we can all come. I'll get poured into. Perfect. Cool. All right, ladies. Well, we'll talk soon. Have a good night.